you forget one? You skip one on the countdown? Yeah, he did. I thought
That's suspicious.
strange, right? Start at 6 next time, man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Awesemo.com NFL Live Before Lock show presented by No House Advantage. I'm Dave Loughran at Loughy_D, LOUGHY_D. Joined as always by Ben Rossa at JazzRaz DFS. One might say jack of all trades, master of some or many. And Alex Baker, number one ranked DFS player out there at Awesemo DFS. What's good, brother?
What's up, guys? Man, we're getting right into the show. I'm like, I got all my NBA lineups ready. I'm ready to go. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo is not in the starting lineup, so I might be a little distracted for this first 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, take your time. You got 11 minutes here. And for anybody else that's wondering or missed what Alex just said, Giannis Antetokounmpo not in this. Dude, if this ends up being Ben, do you remember a few years ago where Terry Stotts or it wasn't Stotts, but whoever does the starting lineup forgot to put CJ McCollum in it and he had to sit out, not because he was injured or sick. Alex, you remember that, right?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
That's crazy.
Really? Yeah. This probably longer than all the years blend together, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know if it was 6 years ago.
It was an NBA sim situation, I have a feeling.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, dude. I'm telling you. They forgot to put CJ. I know there are people in chat right now that absolutely know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're happy to have you guys with us. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. And subscribe to the channel. We would love for you to subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 70,000. We've been gaining subs like crazy lately, thanks to you guys. And it's helping us a huge amount. Combat the YouTube overlords. They get rid of the thumbs down, trying to protect people, getting soft. And then after that, you've got, I don't know, a ton of stuff going on where you just got to fight them. You got to fight them. But we're here to fight them, to fight alongside of you. And if you want to join, hit that join now. You got the 720 Red Dog. You got the custom emojis, the badges, the free super chats every month, which is a cool little feature Jordan Klein told me about. The shout outs, priority questions, all of that good stuff. Morningwood Blues, solid. Morningwood, I don't know why you'd have the Blues with Morningwood. He says, are there any sports Ben doesn't bet on? He must have a little Brit in him. Are there any sports you just don't want to get involved with?
So I used to say MMA, but I bet a lot of MMA now. Actually,
you bet obscure MMA. You bet MMA leagues that I've never heard of.
Yeah, me too. Which is problematic. But the only sport that I really don't mess around with is NASCAR.
Okay, yeah, you even fucks with hockey a little bit.
Oh yeah, I like baseball and hockey. Definitely not my strong suits, but I do bet the Florida Panthers occasionally, and they lose, even though they never lose, but when I bet them. But yeah, only NASCAR is the one sport I really have never gotten involved with.
Alex, do you want to just let us know when you're good? I can riff with Ben until you're set, because I know you have more than $5 on
allegedly.
It's all good, man. This is all second nature to me. So I'm ready to talk some NFL.
You've done this so much that you can just set you can set. I mean, you can do what you got to do with a huge news like this and still talk football. We're good.
This isn't my first NBA slate.
But it might be your last NBA slate if you don't get this right. So okay.
I know I wasn't insinuating it was your first. I'm just saying sometimes when there's huge stuff like that, I mean, I don't know. I panic, Ben, when something like that happens. If you're crunching, I mean, I don't know how many lineups, Alex. How many lineups you have on, say, DraftKings tonight for NBA?
I mean, I have a bunch of entries, but I'm only making 150 lineups.
Okay, so you're spreading those out throughout more. Okay, got you.
We did have, just to add to that, I should have clarified with this. So another thing I've never bet is esports, but in the last month or two, I have bet a little Counter-Strike, I believe it's called. And it's more interesting than I would have thought it would be. So
the one thing I always ask you is where do you get the time to research this? Do you have go-to people or do you?
Some of them.
Okay.
I don't understand the guy's defusing the bomb and then it ends and I don't even know what happened. But I don't research that. I just bet on it.
Do you watch it?
So I did watch it. I didn't really understand what was going on. Like I said, one guy had a bomb, the other people are running, and then everyone's Norwegian and the game ends. But it was really more entertaining than I thought it would be.
All right. let's dive into this. Once again, thanks for being with us, guys. And then for anyone that's coming, well, I'll get to at 7:30. We'll make sure to recap a couple things. Not that we've gotten to a whole lot yet, but yes, Giannis out for those of you guys playing NBA and are coming over to make this trek into the NFL world. Alex, let's kick it off with the Dallas Cowboys. We'll do that. We'll talk about the Saints, then we'll build a lineup and give our final predictions. Also, a few of our favorite bets today from Odd Shopper and from everywhere else. So the Cowboys, this is a weird spot because you have CeeDee Lamb back after that concussion. And then you have Ezekiel Elliott, who was rumored to be potentially shut down for a few weeks. And then he's playing, and they're saying now that he'll be at full capacity, no problems there. And then Amari Cooper, who is active but is still dealing with COVID symptoms. So with these pass catchers, are you projecting Amari less than you would be if he wasn't dealing with this? Or are you just assuming that he's a full go and he'll be fine?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we got to read between all the lines and all these reports. But I feel like this Amari Cooper report is like very valid. He was uncertain as recently as Monday. So there was some lasting effects beyond just testing positive. So I think that he's a little bit riskier tonight. I'm kind of interpreting him being a little bit on a snap count, or I guess they just said that his conditioning is lacking right now. And to me, that means maybe he'll play about 2/3 of the game as opposed to like 90%. So that's a significant downgrade.
Are you in the same position, Ben?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I never think it's a bad idea to make assumptions with certain lineups and then with others take a different narrative. And then if you get one extreme or the other, you've kind of planned for that already. So I do think we have to infer something with some news like this. But all in all, I'm not going to drastically take one stance across everything. I think that would be kind of too aggressive for something like this.
You know, you called me what'd you call me, a turkey or a goblin or one of your go-tos?
In what context?
I think because I'm still in the old Slack chat.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
You're a goblin for not buying Red Dead yet, like Red Dog has suggested.
So I don't think it's compatible with Sega Genesis, which is the only system that I think I have in this apartment. So I gotta upgrade, and then I'll take cues from you. I'll be riding around on my Arabian stallion or whatever the hell goes on in that game.
You'll love it, man.
Apparently.
Hey, I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Do you think Noah Brown benefits a decent amount from this? I was actually shocked. I want to see if we have an updated ownership projection. Let's see here. Yes, we do. Okay. So we got updated ownership. We're still projecting Noah Brown very low, man. I know that he's not exciting, but there aren't really any like legitimately good punts. And tell me if you think I'm wrong about this. I know you can get to a Juwan Johnson and a few of those guys, but usually we got something. It feels like Noah Brown at 8% seems somewhat palatable, given that it's possible Amari is significantly limited or just isn't in good shape once he starts playing this game and starts hacking up along.
I get it. I mean, I certainly think if you're looking for extreme salary relief, that's probably where you're going to go. But at the same time, it's still a Dallas team with, they've got 3 receivers ahead of him. Dalton Schultz is obviously a prominent pass catcher. Pollard and Zeke are there. So I'm not sure there's still a ton of volume for him. Now, if they fall behind again, as we saw with the Raiders, there's going to be more passing volume to go around across the board. I don't think that's going to happen tonight, but I get it. If you are building very aggressive and you're captaining a quarterback or something, I could see how he gets into your lineups.
Alex, what do you think on Noah Brown? Obviously, our projections and ownership right now, he's not really popping.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think the main reason is you're going from a spot where he was playing about 70% of the snaps to a spot where you're lucky if he gets on the field like 1 out of 3 plays. So it's tough to be very excited about Noah Brown, but as you were saying, there's not very many kind of tertiary options on today's slate, and he's one of the ones that, at least with Amari Cooper, are a little bit limited. We can feel pretty confident he'll be out there enough to put up a score.
Yeah, and the way I see it too, Alex, is Cedric Wilson is out.
Yep.
So with him out, he was the 3, right? Brown was the 3 last week behind Wilson and Gallup. So sometimes you got to do some things, especially in large field tournaments on these showdown sites. And if one of the, not even assumptions, but if one of the possibilities, right, one of the outcomes is Amari might not be right, Noah Brown would probably be the primary beneficiary, right?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think that you're right. Cedric Wilson being out is big. Noah Brown played 94% of routes last week, so it's clear that the team likes him. He was injured to start the year, so I think he got off to a slow start. But you do have to feel like confident that he would benefit if there was some sort of injury or limitation on any of the Dallas guys. Malik Turner is the other wide receiver. He only played on 15% of snaps last week, so there's really a huge difference in the potential there.
Yeah, for sure. Joshua said door open for Ty Montgomery to gobble up checkdowns. We'll get there, but if you're building lineups right now, I don't think his role is nearly the same as it was last week, where you were without Alvin Kamara, you were without Mark Ingram as well, and you were with Tony Jones, who is out tonight. So I would say no, Mark Ingram would be the primary pass catcher for all intents and purposes. Ben, what do you think about Lamb? How much are you willing to get to him in the captain spot? Are you sticking with Amari in some spots? And what about Michael Gallup now that these two, the 1 and 2, are back?
So yeah, certainly CD Lamb. I think the first thing for me, it was a protocol issue. He shouldn't. There's really no limitations with a concussion, as we've talked about a lot. So he should be right back to being obviously the alpha on the outside, electric player. I certainly don't mind him if you want to pay up for a captain spot. And New Orleans, they've got a lot of problems in a lot of areas, but the one area is certainly not run defense. They're very, very strong there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Dak and these pass catchers really have opportunities against the secondary. So I have no problems with CeeDee Lamb. Gallup, I'm kind of neutral. If I land on him, sure. Maybe if I'm going to Dak and I want to load up on the pass catchers, that's totally fine. I think CD, even though he's the priciest, I think it's warranted.
Alex, what about you with these pass catchers here? Who do you like the most, and who are you getting to the most? It's a tough question for showdowns. I understand that, but feel free to put some context in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Gallup, Schultz, and Lamb, really no question marks there. So I'm kind of going and mixing and matching those guys. I think Schultz, because he's a tight end, you'll be regretting if you don't have him in a showdown slate. But I mean, I think Schultz has been out there like 95% of the time in the last 2 weeks. Gallup's been out there 100% last week. So these are guys that are getting huge playing time. So I think they're fine pretty much in any lineup.
Ben, where do you stand on Schultz? Obviously, Blake Jarwin's been out as well, and Schultz is somebody that, whether or not these pass catchers are healthy, he has still gotten quite a bit of work. Alex mentioned his opportunities just in terms of snaps, 15 targets over the last 2 games. Granted, CD missed half of one of those games. Amari missed one full one, and then Amari missed, and CeeDee Lamb missed both of them missed that Las Vegas game as well. So it's a little bit skewed there, but the only question I have is Dalton Schultz price point a little steep getting everybody back?
Definitely think it's a little steep, but it can be overcome in the sense that Dalton Schultz is the type of guy certainly can be a red zone target. He's on a team that's basically a touchdown favorite. So there are ways to make up. There's no doubt that a lot of times when we talked about Dalton Schultz in various ways, it was, he's a decent punt, salary relief, and he is a part of this offense. Here he's a prominent part of it. When you look at it, I mean, he's priced in the realm of the pass catchers we've been talking about outside CeeDee Lamb. So I think that is a little different conversation. I mean, you can get Pollard or Gallup or even Amari pretty close to him. I still have some interest though, just because I think he does have a real role in this offense. And there are scenarios, it's not going to be like the Raiders where Dak's throwing the ball 47 times, but it's still a very pass happy team all in all.
Alex, you get those lineups squared away?
Yeah. I ended up getting a bunch of Chris Middleton in my lineup, so I'm feeling good.
I feel like that's not bad. Yeah. Okay. Did you see LaMelo cross up Holiday yesterday?
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm sure I'll make some good highlights. And then that 3-pointer he hit to almost get overtime was sick, but then Giannis came back the other way and sealed the deal. So not as exciting as it could have been.
No, absolutely not. But man, not many people make Drew Holiday look dumb on defense. And He put him on his ass. It's pretty impressive. Hey, Ben, the running back position, again, look, I'm not trying to go crazy with narratives and stuff here, but we have to play both sides of this. Like with the Amari Cooper thing, he's active, but he's still dealing with a cough, and he was dealing with symptoms for a while, and he still is. So could that affect him? Sure. Could it not affect him? Absolutely. Maybe he's fine. Maybe he plays all the snaps. Maybe he plays 50%. These are things you at least have to factor into the equation. Are you factoring in at all the fact that maybe Ezekiel Elliott isn't going to get as much work as they are alluding to, as Jerry Jones and Quinn have pointed out? Or do you think that we should be looking at this and saying, no, you know what? They're saying he will, and he will.
So again, I think the answer probably lies somewhere in the middle. If you have enough teams, I definitely think it's smart to build with Zeke limited mindset in some of them. Now, all in all, my main lineups, if I had one lineup, I think he's going to be just fine. You know, this is a guy that I feel like he's kind of been banged up throughout the year, and it's not a short week. That's another thing to point out. It's a Thursday game, but they played on Thanksgiving. So he had a full week. And I look at this and you say, oh, he's only had 9 carries in the last 2 games. They lost both of those games. Before that, he was in double-digit carries in every single game this year. I think the Cowboys are going to win tonight like most people do. And I have a feeling Zeke returns to his, 13 to 15 type carries, and he looks just fine.
Okay. All right. I mean, Alex, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I'll point out that the books are also saying that. And I know we lean over and we're going to talk about that. But I look at Zeke, with they're having 44.5 rushing yards right there. I think that's a fine line to set, and I know we're leaning over there, so I'm not really worried about it, to be honest.
Yeah, Alex, that was one spot I was going to ask you about. Ezekiel Elliott over 44.5 rushing yards. That's something you're looking to get to today, because I'm pretty sure we haven't projected quite a bit higher.
Yeah, definitely. I think, on the season, he's averaged 65, so we got to be really convinced that he's limited to not like the over. Now, last week, he got 45% of the carries to 50% for Pollard. Previous week, it was like 55 to 45. So you're getting about half the carries for him on an average night. And I know you're mentioning Dallas. They didn't run the ball very much in their past couple of games, but they are a pretty neutral run/pass offense. So for the year, they've run the ball about 44% of the time in neutral game scripts. That's slightly higher than the league average. So in a spot where they're a big favorite, you're expecting a good amount of rushing attempts.
And I'd say too, Ben, when you're talking about something like Zeke, if you're playing the might be limited angle from a DFS standpoint, where you're trying to beat out thousands of other people and hundreds of thousands of lineups, if you're playing the Millie, it's different than if you're looking at a bet here where you're saying, all right, we have a high expected win rate, 80% on Zeke on the over 44.5 today. Bet Rivers still has it at 44.5. You can find exactly where you want to hit this bet on OddsShopper for free. With 2 clicks, boom, you're in. We're projecting with 66 yards, 49% expected ROI. So it's a lot different hitting the over there than getting Tony Pollard in some of your lineups, or maybe targeting the passing game more on DraftKings, FanDuel, or Yahoo.
100%. And it's not a heavy juice situation. I'm looking, there's minus 115s out there. So you're asking for a toss-up line. Is it going to get 45 yards or more or not in the betting market? We don't really care. Obviously, in the DFS side, it's a little more nuanced. If you think that he's severely limited, certainly Pollard's going to get a boost. Maybe the passing game gets a boost, but looking at that on OddsShopper and seeing that line, it gave me some confidence to say, okay, again, the Cowboys, they don't have the luxury of messing around anyway. They've got the full week. I think it's going to be a run heavy attack. I think it's going to be a really methodical game. I know we're going to get into that in general. So I think he'll have opportunities. And for me, if you're going to give me 13 to 15 carries and a couple of targets for Zeke, I'll live with the results no matter what they are.
No question. And if you just click on the bet, like DraftKings has it at 44.5 too. So solid stuff right there. And like you said, when you're playing in negative game scripts, they usually fade out the run game. And Dallas does quickly because they have Dak Prescott and a lot of good pass catchers. I am fascinated a little bit though, Alex, by Tony Pollard, just in the sense of he's not really cheap. He's definitely priced like Ezekiel Elliott is limited. He's not priced like Ezekiel Elliott's at full strength. But in the same breath, Tony Pollard's also a guy that's already averaging what, like 10 to 12 touches per game, sometimes more. Do you still assume that he gets a decent amount of work today? And is he worth getting to in large field tournaments or even just regular single entry or 3-max?
Yeah, I think, I mean, this one's tough because Pollard, he is coming off a week where he really crushed, especially with that 100-yard kickoff return. So I think people are going to have it fresh in their minds that he was excellent in that game. Will that lead to a greater workload? That part I'm not sure about, because it does seem like the team is just embarrassed about the Ezekiel Elliott contract, and they're trying like any opportunity to justify it by giving him a big workload.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know how much they care about that, but I think that Pollard might be a sell high candidate. But I mean, I think that one way you can build lineups tonight is just for a Dallas beatdown, in which case Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott probably will get a lot of rushing attempts. So I do like having them in lineups.
Do you have any lineups with both of them?
Yeah, totally. I have a lot of lineups with both of them because
really, okay,
this is a situation where I feel like it's all about the team's like number of rushing attempts, and they're going to split them fairly evenly, barring an injury. So I think like a lot of times you think of players of the same position as negatively correlated, but this one's all about kind of like, are they going to run the ball 40 times? If so, Pollard and Elliott are each going to get 20.
It's a solid point. So yeah, it's actually positively correlated if the game script flips in their favor. Yeah.
And that really helps you predict who else is going to be in the winning lineup. So that's one way to do it.
Ben, what do you think of both of them in the same lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just echo the same point. Like a lot of times I feel like everyone, including me, we're always concerned about like, well, what's the split? Is it 70-30? Well, if it's 70-30 and one guy gets 7 and one guy gets 3, that's just bad. If it's 50-50 and they both get 20 because they ran the ball 40 times, that's great. So I think it's more about what are we carving up in terms of the size of the pie? Certainly in this game script, Cowboys near a touchdown favorite, a team that was just destroyed. I know Buffalo is very good, but the Saints look non-competitive in that game, 31-6. Is it really unreasonable to think that both of them get a really healthy workload tonight? I think that's very possible.
Yeah. And Kevin Diaz making a point here. Kamara has 190 less rushing yards than Ezekiel Elliott. Well said. He's played 3 fewer games. So, prorate those, and he's probably pretty far ahead of Zeke, or at least ahead of him. Yeah. We haven't talked a ton about Dak yet, Ben, but on sites like FanDuel and Yahoo, it's really hard not to just want to jam him into the MVP or the what is it, like the super stellar captain spot on Yahoo. What's it called? Super MVP or
Superstar, I think.
Superstar. Thank you. Yeah.
Super MVP.
What?
Yes, I'd never heard of the Super MVP.
Well, now you have. I forgot what it was called. The Superstar. Oh, they got the 100K baller tonight as well. I got a couple in that. The Superstar. That's right. Anyway, what do you? So you want to jam him in? Not jam him in, but you want him in quite a bit of that because you're just looking for the highest raw score in that. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. I was thinking. No, you are, because they don't 1x salary on those, right? On Yahoo. Yeah. They 1x. Okay. I got confused for a second. They don't 1x salary. They 1x or 1.5x points. They don't 1.5x salary. So you want a lot of him there. What about on DraftKings though, where you're paying 1.5 times his original salary?
So, the thing about Dak, obviously he's going to have ample opportunities. And if you do go to him, you're going to be putting the pass catchers in there. Because one thing we really haven't seen from him so far this year is a lot of the rushing has been limited to non-existent. And I don't know if that's because of he made a decision, post-injury to really not do that unless he needs to, or it's something else. So I don't mind going to Dak in the whatever spot, captain, superstar, all the things, all of the above. If you do that, you kind of have to think of a different game script than I think Alex was just alluding to Maybe ironically not a Dallas beatdown, maybe a New Orleans win, and Dak is forced to throw the ball 45 plus times.
Yeah, it's very possible. Jordan Lockhart, thank you for the super chat. Brother. At work and just fired you up on my second monitor. Catch me up. Who are the two locks for the night? Telling you, man, those people at the car dealership, not fond of this guy. They can't be. Just raking in hundreds of thousands a week, sitting back while they do all the grunt work. And he's got it up on the screen in his office. Living the life, man. Thanks for the super chat. Who are the two locks of the night? Should we save that or should we just give them out? There's no locks, but if you were to say, Alex, your two top options for the night are, we got to do our boy Jordan Lockhart a solid here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the most exciting answer because it's not like I'm going to be like Greg Zuerlein or something flashy. It's going to be Dak Prescott. I mean, he's pretty much it's hard to build a lineup without him because Dallas does have a lot of passing production. So that really helps you narrow down the options. And then the other lock for me is Mark Ingram, who is pretty underpriced today. So with him getting a bulk of the workload and not being able to like really be phased out of the game, I think Ingram is one of your best bets.
What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, certainly Ingram, Kamara, I feel like he was certainly priced for Kamara being in there and he's not. And on the other side, I mean, I think Dallas is a little more difficult to kind of decipher what you want to do. But I think that certainly CeeDee Lamb is a guy, if you have the money, even as a captain or top end option, really, really solid tonight. And I expect him to play pretty well.
Yeah, I like CeeDee Lamb quite a bit. And I'm going to have a tough time getting away from Mark Ingram. If you're talking DraftKings, that Ingram price point is just stupid. I mean, it's really not right. They preemptively price everyone else up all the time, but they just completely forgot. Did they not? Like they completely forgot about Ingram.
Well, it's funny because he had that same situation last time he played, which is 2 weeks ago. So it's not like unprecedented or anything.
It's not. It's just wrong. That's all. But I'm okay with it. He's going to be pretty popular. I can respect that. You guys got anything else? Zuerlein, Cowboys defense, anything else you want to hit on, Alex?
Yeah, I think both of them. I prefer the kicker. And we were talking about how, there aren't very many punt plays we feel very confident about today. That does slant towards the kickers being more likely to be in the winning lineups tonight. And I always like to try to get kickers in my stack because teams tend to kick more field goals when they're ahead than when they're trying to catch up. So that's definitely something I'm considering. And the defense, I don't think is in a great spot for the Cowboys because Taysom Hill, he's not going to drop back quite as much. There's going to be a lot of rushing attempts in this game. Now, I guess that could be more sacks because if he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage, it just counts as a sack. But really, you want more passing for four guys to make the defense on the other team get there.
And yes, chat, call it a flaw, but I don't prioritize pronouncing kickers' names accurately. That's one spot I've been lazy on over the years, Ben. Just not a ton of interest in researching kickers. Where are you going?
I mean,
with
if that's your biggest leak in life, you're doing just fine.
I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah, it's not bad, but no, I'm with Alex. I mean, certainly kickers for the winning team and the team that's favored always tend to have the advantage. They're indoors. That helps. No issues of any kind there. The Cowboys defense, I think, is a little more difficult to talk about because, of course, the passing volume is bad. If you're going to get there, you're going to have to get there on them actually going like full Patriots and just like shutting them out, which I don't think is crazy at all to think that the Saints have no offense tonight. That's definitely a scenario that could play out. I just don't think the turnover equity is that high for a team that's just going to be plowing into the line with Taysom Hill.
All right. Looking forward to this Saints team. The new look Saints today, but first, no house advantage. Ben, what do we always say about no house advantage that makes it special?
Static line. So everybody's saying, oh, look, Wilson's ruled out. Kamara's ruled out. Well, they weren't ruled out when they set those lines over there. And it is obviously reflected. Guys like Mark Ingram, some of these peripheral guys on the Cowboys, absolute steals on no house advantage.
Yeah. Static lines means they don't move. It also means that we have no house. Well, that's not what it means, but I'm about to tell you, we have no house advantage, player prop projections and the No House Advantage Optimal Lineups tool free every day of the week at awesemo.com. You'll never have to pay for that. And if you sign up using the deposit code or the promo code, Awesemo, done a lot of shows today, getting tired. AWESEMO, get up to $25 when you sign up and deposit for the first time. It's a totally different way to play DFS. It's far less time consuming because it's player prop contest. You're building lineups, no salary restraints or anything like that. You're taking the over or the under, putting it into a lineup. The ones you like the most get the most points because you put them at the top of the lineup, vice versa. Fewest points on the ones you're less confident in at the bottom of the lineup. But like I said, you have the tools. You also have Odds Shop, right? Like you have our player prop tools, all of that stuff to make life way easier. And also, I would say check out like some of these traditional books as well. See where they're putting these lines at. You're going to get some absolute steals here, where the line is just going to be way lower. The prop will be significantly lower or higher than other spots. So use that. Look at the expected win rate at Odds Shop, or look at the player prop tools and build these lineups. You're going to have a considerable edge in doing so because you're using good projections that are entirely free. So use the promo code AWESEMO when you sign up, $25 deposit bonus. Go to nohouseadvantage.com or the App Store or the Google Play Store. And another thing that's cool about No House Advantage is a bunch of states that don't allow these player prop contests. You can actually play No House Advantage in most of them, which is pretty cool as well, like Pennsylvania. All right, nohouseadvantage.com. Price in the Google Play Store or the I guess or the App Store. Ben, man, I've done too much today. I already told you. I was already venting to you at like 3 p.m. All right, let's talk
facts. I said facts. It's all accurate.
It's all accurate. Yeah, let's talk about the Saints. Alex, Taysom Hill, baby. It's getting the start. It can't go any worse than Trevor Siemian, right? Like it really kind of can't. And I think they're going to draw up a lot of design runs for this guy, even though he's coming off that injury. What else would be the point if you're not intending on using his legs? Because it's not like he's, the preeminent passer in football.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all about the threat of running from Taysom Hill to keep the defense honest. When he started last year, I think we saw a lot more rushing attempts, and the main thing that I noticed last year was Alvin Kamara really got a lot less receptions in those games. So that is kind of making me less excited about the Mark Ingram receiving potential or Ty Montgomery, who is the RB2 tonight. But other than that, I think that Taysom Hill is he's a pretty good fantasy option. You just don't feel quite as confident about the pass catchers.
Ben, your thoughts, Taysom Hill here, and how it affects the offense and where you're going on him today? Because for DFS, it's hard not to like him personally.
Oh yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to like him. The problem is he is an orphan or isolated player where he captures all his points because he's like a running back, and that is interesting if he's effective. But if he's not effective, not only does it hurt him, all the pass catchers are going to suffer because a lot of these things are going to be carries on the ground. When he started last year, he was averaging about 10 carries a game. And I think all those games were predominantly low scoring. Unless Sean Payton, and he is very creative at times, draws up some really innovative plays, I don't think this is going to be that successful tonight. So we'll be very interested to see what Parsons does on the other side. I know that's not really actionable, but they're going to have a plan to try to stop Taysom Hill's rushing yards because it's risen all day in the prop market. It was at 32. It's up to 41 in a lot of spots. Clearly, he's going to be active on the ground tonight.
Yeah. Micah Parsons is the guy that can get it done too.
He's going to get it done. He is uniquely stopped. We saw this against Hurts a little bit. He is uniquely, able to stop these guys.
Yeah.
Equipped. That would be the word I was going for. Thank you. I don't know.
I think you're right, but I also think they're going to get creative. Sean Payton can figure things out. I mean, look, they haven't played well. It's hard to play well when you're down with most of your best players. You're down most of your best players. Now, that's the case again today. And the truth is, like Taysom Hill last year, outside of that game where Kendall Hinton started for Denver, who wasn't an actual quarterback, and Taysom Hill didn't need to throw 78 passing yards. Outside of that, he crushed his current passing yards prop. Now, you should have hit it earlier. You should have watched a strategy show and hit it when it was like 204.5 because it's up considerably now. It's still a good bet based on our projections, but not nearly where it was. The thing with him, Ben, though, is last year he had Michael Thomas, who did not play particularly well, but it's still Michael Thomas for all 4 of those games. He had Alvin Kamara for all 4 of those games. He had Emmanuel Sanders for all 4 of those games. He had Jared Cook for all 4 of those games. Who's he got now?
He's got Trevor Siemian cheering him on from the sidelines. He doesn't have much. And I want to be clear, just because I think he might struggle. I have a lot of Taysom Hill tonight because
So
I think the rushing opportunities and what I expect to be a very ugly game can get him there on raw points. I just think there's a lot of ways that they are not able to really manufacture a ton of offense and that it just chews up a lot of clock. They slow it and try to up the variance. I think that's their best chance to win the game. Limit possessions, don't turn the ball over, and just hope for the best, because if you get into a shootout with Dak on the other side, I don't see how that's going to work with Taysom Hill.
Lafayette Eagles green. This guy bleeds Philly. No, man. This is just a shirt. But and this is just a bad ratio on the likes. First of all, what's up to all of you, the guys that came in after NBA show? I know he locked at 7:30 today. Had a significant potential tilt there before it even started with Giannis getting ruled out. I know Alex was in crunch mode there, but 9% ratio. You got 1,700 people watching right now. If you forgot when you came in, I won't hold it against you, but hit that thumbs up for us. Only takes 1 simple second. Helps us greatly. I'm going to thank you in advance because we're going to crush this, pop straight over 300 right here as we continue talking about the Saints. Alex, I know and I agree with you that Mark Ingram definitely gets downgraded, but with such absolute limited weapons, I still don't see how he goes unused. I mean, it feels like it still has to be a spot. I mean, even last week when they were getting smoked by Buffalo, you still saw Tony Jones end up getting 16 carries despite being absolutely terrible. So I don't know. It feels like they have to use Ingram a lot anyway, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I think part of the point of starting Taysom Hill is you're hoping that the run game gets more efficient, and they have to guard against 2 different guys running the ball. So Mark Ingram should potentially benefit from that. It's kind of compensated by the fact that Taysom Hill is going to take some of the red zone rushing attempts and also not throw the ball as much short. So all in all, it's just Mark Ingram is just super underpriced on tonight's slate. He should get a steady workload. And I mean, feel pretty like a lot more confident about him than some random Saints pass catchers.
That's kind of how I feel, Ben. You're looking at Deontay Harris, Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway. It's not pretty. And then you've got a tight end position right as Adam Troutman was beginning to pick it up. He hits the IR. And then last week, you've got guys like Juwan Johnson getting nothing. Nick Vanette had 1 target, ended up being an 11-yard touchdown, but his snap counts were limited. There was just nothing good about this tight end position. Garrett Griffin being another one. Thanks. It's ugly. So Mark Ingram has to get a lot of work. I don't see any way around at that price.
No, again, I think there's a lot on this slate where we're talking about efficiency versus raw points. And in showdown, raw points is obviously very, very important. I think a lot of these Saints guys are going to be pretty unsuccessful, but they still could be very important because of the raw point aspect. And we did have a super chat about the Cowboys offensive line, and maybe I missed something, but I think they're good to go. They look healthier than they've been in quite some time. So going back to those backs for a second, you would think that they'll have a fighting chance against the Saints front that's been very strong all year.
You would. Yeah. I mean, Tyron Smith is the only thing that worries me a little bit because he's playing with an ankle that's clearly not right, but he's not getting surgery. But at the same time, he's probably better than any replacement, right?
Yeah, they've had issues all year, and it's far from perfect, but again, I think it's not a liability like it was at certain points.
All right. Well, Alex, what are you doing with these pass catchers? It's not lovely.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit ugly, but I think we know at least the guys that will be on the field. Marquez Callaway and Traquan Smith are dominating the snap counts. Neither one has been particularly impressive though. So Deontay Harris is a guy that he's kind of cheap tonight at 4,600. He's kind of a gadget player, a little bit of an undersized player, so that's why he doesn't play a ton. It's like half the snaps, but he's really effective when he's out there. So that's someone you can gamble on. One other guy that I'm kind of looking at is a little Jordan Humphrey. I mean, I'm pretty much throwing darts here, but he got 5 targets last week. It's only 2,600. You're probably going to want at least one of these guys if you have Taysom Hill.
It's also one of the greatest names in football.
Definitely.
Right? Like he has a rapper name, but it's real, which is just amazing. So Lil Jordan Humphrey, Ben, you getting there?
So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to specifically get there. I think he's in play, but I do totally agree that if the Saints are going to be successful, this is the type of, they're going to implement some of these gadget guys, try to get them the ball in space and hopefully make a play. And that would really help Taysom Hill, of course. And certainly Harris and Callaway is obviously more of a burner. You've got Traquan, Lil Jordan Humphrey. They got a lot of options. It's just very hard. I don't think any of us know in terms of the target share how that's going to break down because they don't have the Michael Thomas safety blanket that they once did.
If you had to put them in order, tough question, but is there, if you're putting them in order today, people playing maybe 1, 2, 3 lineups, 5 lineups, whatever, so they can't just spray with all of these guys, which would really be the ideal situation on a night like tonight. How are you doing it?
So, yeah, I mean, it is very difficult. And talking about just the pass catchers from New Orleans,
yes,
for me, Deontay Harris is a guy that I think they will get him involved. And it's small edges. A lot of the things that he can do, other guys on this team could do it, but I do think he'll have some opportunities there. Callaway has shown it only takes 1 or 2 receptions. I'm just not sure that Taysom Hill is the guy to possibly deliver those. So for me, Harris would be the one who I could see having a pretty good game tonight, even if they struggle.
Alex, if you had to prioritize these guys, who would it be? Pass catchers for the Saints.
I'm really kind of spraying and praying on this one.
Okay.
But a couple of guys that I didn't mention that I'm also looking at are Kenny Stills. He's been blanked the last 3 weeks, so I think no one's gonna have him. But he's been playing like a little bit, and it's 200. And then the other guy is Juwan Johnson with Adam Troutman out for the year. He was the guy that got the most snaps at tight end, running routes on a little more than half the plays. So I know tight ends in Showdown are kind of popular. So Juwan Johnson would be your guy on the Saints.
Okay. And I meant to say this earlier to you guys, but if you have questions right now, you're on the fence with certain things, our top stacks tool, well, really our it's a top stacks tool, but it's a top plays tool for Showdowns, is entirely free today. It gives you top play probability, optimal captain probability, so much more, all of the ownership for all of the players. It's all built into one tool. Alex, are you just running a lot of simulations to get these probabilities? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, basically what we do is we simulate all the plays in a game, kind of using our projections. So it really gives you an accurate like probability distribution for each of the players. So that's really important because it's very hard to come up with like what is the percentage chance that Dak Prescott's going to be the highest scoring player like on your own. But then you look at this, you're like, okay, he's 12% owned, but he's a 24% chance of being the top scoring player. So that would be someone that maybe you want to prioritize.
Yeah. So check that. Solid explanation. Not something I could have done. The tool totally free though. You still got, what do we still? The locks in at 8:20, right? So yeah, you still got around 20 minutes if you want to make decisions based off of that, and just check it out. Cause again, it's a really cool tool, totally free. And if you want to get 25% off your first week of Awesemo Plus, ownership, player projections, top stack tool, boom bust, all of that good stuff. Lineup builder. If you want to get the Fantasy Cruncher add-on, you can do that as well on top of it, but use the promo code NFL Showdown LBL, all one word, all caps. Throw that on the screen, Tyler, because literally nobody's going to know what I just said. I didn't make it. NFL Showdown LBL, all caps, all one word at awesemo.com/join. But yeah, get you 25% off everything for the first week: football, basketball, hockey, MMA, PGA, NASCAR. All the tools I talked about are included for all of those different sports. So hopefully we'll see you over there. Oh, and join the premium Discord too. Good community and office hours where you get the pros answering questions and helping you guys out. All right, Ben, final thoughts on if there wasn't anything we talked about, I do think Juwan Johnson's fine. He's a guy that can catch a touchdown, but he's a dart throw as well. I think he's fine. If I'm going with any of the tight ends, it would be him. What about the defense here?
Yes, they're kind of interesting. I don't think anyone's really going to use them, and I get it. But if you think that the Saints win the game and it causes Dak to throw the ball, that could be a way they do win. It's not unreasonable to think that maybe a couple turnovers, Taysom Hill punches them in, around the goal line and they hold on in a very low scoring game. I think that's probably far fetched. But again, we're talking about showdown. You got to plan for weird things. Not a priority, but I don't think it's insane if you want to build like that.
Alex?
What's the question again?
What are you doing with the kicker or defense special teams for this Saints squad?
So I think it's all based on kind of like, am I stacking the Saints? I think it's a valid strategy. I mean, I don't love the Saints tonight, but you're going to find that the worse position the team is in, the less on the stack's going to be. So I think if I'm picking the kicker, I want to have Taysom Hill. I want to have some of the other offensive players, Mark Ingram, and the same pretty much with the defense. So if I have them, it's going to be mostly with the idea that the Saints are going to win this one.
Okay. Hey, let's shout out everyone that's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Then we'll build a lineup here, a little large field action, give you guys enough time to get some questions in, our final thoughts, predictions, all that fun stuff. I enjoy doing this because I like seeing people rocking the Awesemo avatar that win and then get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum on top of that. All you have to do is download the avatar, the profile picture at awesemo.com/avatar, tweet your wins at Awesemo HOF, include Alex, Ben, and myself in that as well because we enjoy seeing those wins, and win a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You got to finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. Doesn't matter where you're playing. Doesn't matter the stakes. It could be a nickel entry. It could be the Millie Maker. Does not matter. We'd love to shout you out, show you some of that love over there on Twitter. It feels good. And then you get in here, Hall of Fame, get inducted forever to be up on the mantle. Like, see right here, all I do is listen to you guys. Haven't even used the tools yet. And this shit happened. Need to make a theme song to those fire ass beats. I love it. Congratulations, man. And remember, now you can use the tools because you just grabbed a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Just winners across the board here. We got Eric, who took down 4K, said, couldn't have done it without y'all, without the great info. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, man. Congratulations. That's another solid win right there. And then Dre said, most lineups I've ever cashed in. Congrats, took second place in that as well. Free month. Boom. And then Corey, that was $81 turned into $5,200. Just a huge day for him in the fadeaway and the high five single, all of that good stuff. That's huge. Shout out to Ship My Money. I listen to his analysis on the daily, as you should. And then close it out with Jordan. Big hit last night. Appreciate all the help. Third place. Sixers fan. I like that. We suck, but I like that. $1,000. Third place. Free Awesemo subscription. Just tweet your wins at Awesemo HOF. Rock the avatar. Send us that win and go to awesemo.com/avatar. Get that free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Congrats to all of you guys. We'll see more of you tomorrow, hopefully. All right. Ben, we'll kick it off with you. Captain spot. Let's go DraftKings. Let's go large field because most of the single entries are already filled up. So let's just say, we'll go. Let's go a little off the board. What are we thinking here? Large field tournament at captain.
So yeah, it will be my favorite. We had a super chat about captain on DK and FanDuel. For me, it would be CeeDee Lamb. I think that he's got the upside. Could be really, really busy tonight. He's on a team that's got a healthy implied total. We can find plenty of savings. Let's get things started with CeeDee Lamb at captain.
All right. I love it. Does anyone know what capitalism reimagined means by that comment? Ben, read that while I pick this one. And Alex, read it. Tell me what you think that. I don't know what that means. I'm trying.
Know what, on.
What?
Yeah, no, you kidding me? I'm focused on Showdown. I don't know what that means.
Well, when my name is mentioned, when I'm beckoned, I have to at least try. CeeDee Lamb at captain. I dig it. Who are we going next, Alex?
Well, I hate it to be boring, but I feel like if you have CD a captain, you definitely want Dak in the flex.
Yes, you do. Okay. I'm going to go. All right. It's a large field, right? Let me go Noah Brown then. Let me throw Noah Brown in there. I'll open some things up for you guys. we'll play the Amari Cooper is not at full capacity, and we'll create a little space here, Ben.
Okay. So we've got 3 Dallas players. We got plenty of money. I think I'm just gonna go full onslaught here. And Alex, let me know how you think about this. I'm gonna put in Greg the leg and put in Zerline and hope that they're really rolling. I know normally be with running backs probably, but maybe be a little different. And now we're free to do whatever we want.
Zerline, good pronunciation. All right, Greg the leg. Now, yeah, I mean, now you could do whatever. Yeah, this is just open to whatever you feel like doing. Alex, who do you like here?
Well, if we're going all out on the Cowboys defense.
Oh, so okay, we're going onslaught here.
I guess so. Or you could go Mark Ingram. We definitely need one Saint. I think he's the obvious one.
All right, Ingram, let's do that. So then that gives us 13,000 remaining. And this is not a crazy lineup at all. Do we want to go Cowboys defense or do we want to go Hill? Do we want to go Elliott? We still have plenty up top. What do you think? A million different ways we can play this literally however we want.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly put in Taysom Hill and then you've got a 4-2, or you could go mega onslaught. You've got Zeke in there as well. I'm okay with that. Again, this is definitely a unique, different build. It's certainly suited for large field tournaments, but if you really think that the Cowboys are just scoring all over the place and someone like Ingram, maybe he's getting there because they are forced to dump it down, even though that's not Taysom Hill's MO. It's not the craziest idea.
Okay. Yeah, it's not like let's just say they drop 40. There's, it doesn't mean that only the pass catchers can be good here at all.
And that's just something, not to navigate too much, but this is something I was talking about earlier with you, Laffy, and with Eitan as well, great guy here, on the concept of same game parlays. And it's that same mentality as what we're doing here, but from the betting standpoint, where you're kind of telling that story and saying like, okay, well, if we know that Dak or CeeDee Lamb is going to have a huge game, that's going to domino effect to this guy. And if you are doing that on the same game parlay, we're going to have a lot of more content on the Awesemo Odds side with that. You can take that same mentality. For me, I like the under. I think that's a lot of rushing attempts, make the clock move. So I have kind of Zeke over with the under in the game, and I worked off that as I built some of mine.
Okay. So what's your favorite same game parlay if you were to lay it out?
So for me, it really does start with the under in the game. You can find it 46, 47, 45 and a half, any of those. And I think to make that happen, Taysom Hill is going to be running the ball a lot. I like the over on his rushing yards. And I think on the other side, Zeke, or you could go Pollard, but I'm going to go Zeke over with his rushing yards. It's a game where the clock is just going to burn through. It doesn't mean that there can't be points, but it could lead to a very quick game, few possessions, and the under. And I think if you work off those three, you can add more in terms of like an anytime touchdown score or something. But I felt most confident tonight in leaning on the backs, I think there's going to be a lot of ground attack for both teams. And by a byproduct, that would make the game go under.
Someone in chat asked, Alex, this lineup will get our money back. I mean, we're probably either getting nothing back or we're winning a lot with this lineup, because I can't imagine a lot of people are going to have that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what a good strategy is in the showdown, because if you have a lineup that's too stacked, too many good players, it's going to be duped to the max. So we got to avoid that.
And that's what we're looking to do. Let's go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, we are getting, and again, we don't know, but chat just pointed this out, and I'm on Twitter as well right now. There is some reporting that Amari Cooper, it doesn't look great right now, that he's not doing a ton in pregame warmups, not taking some of the reps.
Good. I have a ton of Noah Brown to begin with.
So that could be something. Again, we don't know, but we are seeing that. A good point out by chat.
Yeah, appreciate that. I hope he's not ruled out and then doesn't play. That's, in all seriousness, that would be my hope, because I do not have much Amari at all.
And if you're in the betting market, if you have props on him, I think it's pretty reasonable to short them.
Yes.
Because if he steps on the field you get, that stands as an active wager. So
is there anything even on the board? Right.
I don't know, but if there are,
I'm going to tell you right now if there's anything on the board for Zeke, because you're absolutely right. I mean, that. or not Zeke. I'm sorry. Amari. No, I don't just a cursory view, check. I don't see anything. Do you?
No. But again, even if you want to go domino, I think it does help possibly a guy like Noah Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you look towards maybe like the over then if you're shorting Amari, could you go like over receptions on Gallup or over yards on Gallup, you know?
Again, I think that's exactly similar to the same game parlay mindset. Like if you're taking that assumption, okay, how would you rework everything? And I think those are the guys that would get the biggest boost.
He says, I think there's product credibility value in just every once in a while saying we have no fucking clue. You say that a lot.
Yeah, I live my entire life like that.
Say that a lot with showdowns.
I do think like swapping off Amari is prudent because
You don't?
I think it's the right move.
Oh, okay.
because
Okay.
I feel like just too many people aren't gonna want to change their lineups this late in the game, and this is a big red flag.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. Are you doing it right now, Alex?
Yeah, I see on DraftKings, Dalton Schultz and Michael Gallup are kind of a little bit less expensive, so I'm confident in swapping to them because I know that it's not going to really change the game script I'm going for here.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I dig it. I mean, you have to make those decisions. What's your favorite bet today, Ben?
The under. I
The
really
under
think
is? Okay.
if you look at Taysom Hill in his starts last year, all those games were super methodical. And I think that it's a product of Sean Payton realizing that the best chance they have is to slow the tempo, win time of possession, and let him run. And I think if he does that tonight, look at what they did last. They put up 6 points against Buffalo. Like if they get blown out, I know a lot of people think the Cowboys are going to crush them. That unless the Cowboys score 50 points themselves, I think it still goes under like 31-6. That soared under last week. And I think we could see that once again here.
Final predictions on this one. I think the Saints win.
Really? What, 2-0?
What?
2-0? Safety?
I just don't look at this game as I don't look at this game as much of a blowout, I think, as other people do. I know the Saints got embarrassed last week, straight embarrassed, but from week to week, man, the NFL, the level of parity is absurd. And the Cowboys are a far better team, a far superior team. There's no doubt. But I think, I think Taysom Hill can come in here and make a difference. I do also think that Mark Ingram is still a pretty significant upgrade over Tony Jones. And yeah, the Saints defense might have been carved up in some spots, but they're still above average. So I'm not taking the money line, but I like the Saints to cover this game for sure. I like them to cover.
Hit me with a score. You got like a 24-21 style?
Yeah, I'm thinking I was going to go 21-17 Saints. But really, like realistically though, I'd flip that in the opposite direction. I think Cowboys 21-17, relatively low scoring game, like you're saying. And I'm not spitballing, Dan. I think this Saints team is not as bad as they played over the last 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying. They're not good. They're not as bad as they played over the last 2 weeks. And for us to pretend that for us to pretend that Dallas has just been this unbeatable juggernaut would just be a flat out lie. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They've been floundering. So yeah, I still take the Cowboys to win, but I think this could be one of these surprising outcomes. I'll go 21-17 Cowboys. What about you, Alex?
I do like the idea of betting the under. I have been mostly sticking the props though, so I think Ezekiel Elliott over rushing yards is my go-to tonight.
Okay. All right. He said you're going with your gut. We'll see here. We'll see. Anyway, appreciate all you guys. If you have any questions, happy to take them. We got a couple minutes to go here before we get locked up. 3 minutes to go. Any final questions? Otherwise, well, we could get it done. Tom says TY anytime score. Maybe. I mean, anything's possible. Hockey Freak Sean, 31-10 Cowboys. Heard it here first. Nah, I'm good. Great show. Thanks, boys. Yeah, boss man, Alex. Dan says Cowboys won't cover. Yeah, I don't think they will either. I don't know. We'll see. Tyler, who you got? You got Cowboys. You're a Cowboys fan, right? No? Oh, okay. Going Saints. He's got the Saints to cover as well. I always find it funny, though, Ben, when people are like, you got the Saints covering this game as if it's not a 50-50 proposition.
Yeah, I mean, they
like,
balance
you're an
it for
idiot.
you. Yeah, I know. They balance the spread for you. That's what the spread is for.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's going to be. I'm in the same ball, but it's funny. Like we don't see it differently. I see it pretty close to that. I think maybe just like if I had to predict, they go like 21-10. I think it could be pretty ugly.
21-10 Cowboys.
Yeah,
but a low scoring game. What do you guys have? We'll close it out with this prediction. Final score of the game. Hit us. Closest one. Well, I'm not even going to be able to read all these, but anyway. This dude's wild.
Yeah, this guy.
No, I'm not reading that one. You might be right. You might be wrong. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, hey, good luck tonight, guys. Get yourself on that Hall of Fame. Inducted tomorrow when we do On the Contrary, do Live Before Lock, Deeper Dive, all that good stuff. You guys are the greatest. Alex, they'll follow you at Awesemo DFS. You get those lineups squared away?
Yeah, swapped off all the Cooper. So fingers crossed that this isn't this isn't something weird.
Who did you get the most of that you didn't have before? Gallup and anyone else?
Yeah, I really like the idea of going to Noah Brown, but I just didn't have the capability to completely start from scratch. So I just try to make do with just swapping them down.
Alex at Awesemo DFS, Ben at Jazzraz DFS, double Z, single Z. And thank you, Tyler. As always, shout out to your boy Tyler Zander for producing the show. Hit me up at Lafayette_D. Good luck tonight. We'll catch you back here for the next one. It is the Awesemo NFL Live Before Lock show. Peace.